It's the love of our life. It's our blood, sweat, and tears. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I can't really see you, but I'm very happy to be here in the International Animal Rights Conference. It's 5 p.m. here in the afternoon. I'm sorry for the messy face because we just came back from another mass sterilization in a village. So today I would like to share to you about how we, as a local grassroots organization, improving animal welfare through local wisdom, and together with the community, we try to have a better animal welfare for the dogs, especially in here. So this study is especially in Bali, Indonesia. Perhaps some of you have been there, but let me take you to Bali first. So Bali is a little island. It's a province in Indonesia. So it's between Java and Lombok. It consists of 9 regions, and it's a very tiny island. It's only around 5,580 kilometers square. And it's very famous for its beautiful beaches, mesmerizing ceremonial traditions, and definitely famous for its dogs, because Bali is actually a home for almost 600,000 dogs. So roughly every 1 kilometer square, you may meet 100 dogs already during your trip in Bali. So Bali has, just like what I said, Bali has 9 regions. So in here, so this is the capital city in Denpasar, and it has one big island with 3 other tiny islands on the side. So before we continue, I would like to explain a little bit about the term here about Bali dogs. We call Bali dogs is what you typically call a mutt, or the dogs that doesn't really have like exact breed name, so it's just a mixture of everything. We also have another term here in Indonesia. In Balinese, we call it anjing kacang. It's peanut dog because of their shape. I don't know why they think it's similar like a peanut, so we call it peanut dog sometimes, but we love to call them Bali dogs or Bali indigenous dogs. So based on Dr. Lawrence Blair research, he's an American. He's been researching and traced back that their DNA is actually could be traced back 12,000 to 16,000 years ago. So it's a very ancient dog. And they shared similar DNA with several ancient dogs, such as Chow Chow, NSD, the new genus singing dogs, Australian dingo, Japanese forest dogs. So it began when the Neanderthal come to the Southeast Asia, and then they domesticated a wolf, and then they evolved into Paleolithic dog, become a proto dog, and evolve into these ancient dogs, and then they breed until becoming all types of dog breed that we recognize today. So their role in Bali is a little bit different than in a Western culture. It's the Bali community here do not treat them as companion animals. They are not. They are their pets, but it's not a companion because they rarely even put a collar on their dogs. But they are very familiar with community's habits because they've been here for so many years. They are in scriptures, in old scriptures. They appear in fables. They appear in old paintings. So Bali dogs' life is intertwined very tightly with the Bali community, and the relationship is unique. So they are not leash trained. They do not have collars on. They sleep on the ground. We don't put beds on them. Some Balinese do utilize rope to replace collars as a sign of ownership. They're very territorial, and that's why we classify them more as a working dog, because of their territorial character. They form a pack and protect the whole village. They also prevent the invasion of snakes and rats, because waste is also a problem here, because we have lots of ceremonies. There's a lot of organic waste coming out from every household every day, and the dogs actually help to manage the waste, because Bali dogs, they don't really, the Bali community do not prepare meal for them. They actually just eat the remaining meal of the humans. So and then they are very independent. Sometimes when the humans, they do not feed them in the morning, they'll just like, okay, whatever, I'll find something to eat. And that's why they're going and scavenge some of the organic waste that's coming. We have lots of traditional markets. There's a lot of food waste around the neighborhood that they can find. They form a pack and protect the whole village. They prevent invasion of snakes and rats because of the waste, though it will invite rats and definitely snakes, and they help to regulate that. Some of the community also use them as hunting dog. They are hunting animals for ceremonial purposes or for food. And they're also a guard dog for sure. Some of the community, they will put the dogs in the coffee plantation, clove plantation, and they actually know what they're doing without any training. It's in their instinct. That's why I call them, they're already intertwined, and they're the indigenous community as well here in Bali. So Bali dogs usually live in Balinese compound. They free roam. They go out and in, and they have their own clock that contains 3 to 5 families, and they are loyal to all of the members. So this is just a little bit of picture for you. This is a typical Balinese compound here in Bali. So they have this family temple, and there will be 3 to 5 families here. They have a kitchen, and the dogs will just guard this whole area. So based on the explanation that I have before, I would like to take you to a little game. So there are 3 photos here. You can see this is a typical daily life of Bali dogs. And some of them, you can see 2 of them do not have collars, and you can see one is just roaming on the street, one is in the traditional market, and one is just on the side of the road. And I would like for you to pick one that you think it's a own dog. The dog has owner, and please pick the others that you think it's a street dog. Just keep it in your mind, because I will reveal the answer in the next slide. Have you choose which one do you think that has an owner? So actually it's in the middle one. So both of these 2 is actually a street dog. It means they don't have owners. But the middle one, the mangiest one of all, is actually owned. So this 3 is our personal archives when we are going out for doing sterilization and education in the village. So this stray, they do have a collar on because it's actually a rabies collar. It means that they are already vaccinated against rabies. And this one is a street dog, but she knows how to get away with things, but she's very friendly and she knows how to survive. She if she's friendly, she can get a better food, so that's why she can hold it. This is one of our dog catcher who's giving a sedation, a sedative, so she can be spayed. And this is actually Owen. She's just waiting for the humans to finish selling something in the market, so the market is just about to close, and she's just hanging around there. So the idea of a street dogs and own dogs here is very mixed. It's a very complicated, because most of them are free roamed, on almost 600,000 dogs here in Bali. 80% of them are actually have owners, but they free roam because that's how they're independent, and it's just how the community treat them. Well, from the situation, a little bit of background there. There are definitely several issues that comes with it. So the most common animal welfare issues that we face in Bali is definitely rabies. Rabies is endemic since 2008, and it's still going on until now. It has affected all of the regions. And other than that, it's puppy dumping for sure because of unfavored females. Usually the community will throw away the female puppies because they're the one, obviously they are the one who will take the puppies with them, and they just cannot have, the community just do not have the power to take care of all of them. So they dump them on the market, the traditional market, they throw them on the cemetery. And also because of the puppy dumping and the population that's uncontrollably increased, there are issues with it, like a genital disease, like a TVD, venereal tumor, or skin disease, because they just keep contracting each other. So because of this animal welfare issues, there are so many rescue organizations here in Bali. So roughly every region, they will have at least 5 rescue organizations or community or individual that help rescue, rehab, and rehome these dogs and cats. But there are missing links of what's happening actually here in Bali, and that is overpopulation. With the amount of dogs there, none of any rescue organization is never enough to help all of these animals. So that's why we form a grassroots organization where we can fill these missing links. So we don't rescue, we don't do rehab, or we don't have shelter, but we try to go deeper to the root of the problem, which is overpopulation. So our organization was formed in 2013 and has 2 main programs. They are subsidized sterilization and education. So the subsidized sterilization spay neuter program is aimed for street animals and people with their local domestic animals, which is dogs and cats, who could not afford sterilization fee in clinic. There are clinics here, but only in the big cities. In remote areas, they don't have access to clinic, neither they do have the funds to get their pets spayed. And that's why we bring the clinic to them. Meanwhile, our education program is aimed to give it a sustainability, so people are aware about animal welfare, and people are aware that animals are sentient beings. They feel pain, they can feel anything that humans feel. So we also give first education towards local young people about animal welfare, as well as the environment. We also teach elementary school teachers on how to incorporate animal welfare curriculum in their classroom, and so on. So, I mean, more of us can be found in our Instagram, Seva Bhuana. So just like what I said, our main mission is dog population management and definitely raising awareness on responsible pet ownership within the community. Because of this free roaming habit, some of the community didn't even admit that they own a dog until the dogs actually come to their house. So by raising awareness on responsible pet ownership, they will be more than happy to get the rabies vaccination for the dogs. They spay their dogs and be responsible. They won't let their dogs roaming around too far, and start taking care of them better. So this is a typical dog pack in Bali. So you can see male dogs, female dogs, they mate, they fight. So they bring lots of they come with lots of diseases. They contract each other with mange, the most common one, or TVT, the tumor. So how we bring the clinic to them? We bring the clinic to them in one car. So here is our car. We call it MSU, Mobile Sterilization Unit. It's the love of our life. It's our blood, sweat, and tears. We travel around Bali 5 days a week with our MSU. So this MSU, we work together with Bali Pet Crusaders. Bali Pet Crusaders is an Australian registered charity where they focus on sponsoring spay and neuter. So they handle all the funding, especially for our vets. And us here in Seva Bhuana, we take care of the ground operationals in Bali, liaison with the government, talking to the people and etc. So in our tiny van, we travel with 10 cages, so we'll spread the cages for a recovery or for the dogs to wait before their surgery. And we have a prep table here. This is our preparation table. So once the dog's sedated, they will have a general checkup. We'll check the temperature, their heart rate, their respiratory. We'll clean the abdomen area. And then once everything is cleared, they will get an IV. They'll get an eye cream as well. So once everything's cleared here, they will be transferred here on the surgery table. On the surgery table, the surgeons will do another general checkup to see how they're doing under the sedation. And after that, they will have a surgery, spay or neuter, for 10 to 20 minutes. And after that, they will be recovered here on the cage, or they will be returned to the owner or released once they are fully recovered with 5 days of post-oral medication. So definitely we bring 3 surgery tables in the van, equipments. We have 4 vets now, 2 dog catchers, because some of the dogs could not be handled and they needs to be darted by using sedative dart. 1 assistant, 1 admin assistant to register all the animals, and 1 media officer. So of course, because we are going around Bali and we are conducting this we're bringing the clinic to them, we always conduct the surgery outdoor most of the time, which means it is prone to cross-contamination, but we have a very strict surgery protocol. So this surgeon right here, they have a sterile glove, and this area remain sterile, so nobody can touch it without a glove, and except it's our need, and if it's not emergency, we cannot come near it. This surgery tool is given 1 for an animal, and we always sterilize them with autoclave every day, clean it. So 1 tool is for 1 animal, 1 IV catheter for 1 animal. We also have a surgery crash box. So if there's emergency crash, like the dog's having seizure or anything, we have a crash box somewhere here. And this is the box that we put the tools. So we usually bring like 40 surgery tools in every mass sterilization. So yeah, we bring the clinic to remote and rabies positive areas, often with challenging terrain and uneducated community. This is example of how we usually bring the tools to anywhere, really. So everything was put in a box or folded, and then we bring it and we open the station. This is, so you can see like it's like a puzzle, like playing puzzle in the van every time we take out or put them back in. And if you're curious on how to fit everything in there, it's just like this. So everything's folded, all the cages are folded, all the surgery tables are folded, everything is customized. And have you ever seen a car where there are so many clowns that just keep coming out and it never ends? Yeah, that's exactly how we feel every day. Okay, so with the animal welfare issues and when we're wandering around, there are so many stories about how the neglect and abuse happen in Bali. But the more we go to the remote villages, we concluded that it is actually not about cruelty, it's about cluelessness. Because if we say that they are cruel, they actually really care about their dogs. They know they just don't know how. They just don't know what's a better way to care for their animals. For example, they realize that the dogs need to be castrated so that they do not roam around or they don't fight over females. That's why they have a traditional way of castrating male dogs. So they have like a very thin bamboo string that is very sharp, like a surgical knife. And they usually castrate their male dogs with it, but they don't use any sedatives, and it's really painful and it's very traumatizing for the dogs. They also have a way to sterilize the female by feeding them yeast, active yeast, every regularly, like once a month, to prevent them from being pregnant and having menstruation. But they actually do not realize this can cause more harm to their pets. And, with a severe infection, it could cause a severe infection. But it's not about cruelty. If they're clueless, they think that the animals feel less pain than human. They don't feel so much pain. That's why they just put it that way. So when we're traveling around Bali, we realize that they're just clueless and they don't know any better. Another thing that we always most commonly face during our field time is that surgery is a scary term for them, because Balinese still put traditional remedies or alternative medicine before clinical diagnosis. So medical assistance is commonly sought as a last resort when above options fail. And that's why they're hesitant to put their pets on surgery table, because vets are not popular here. It might be very popular in the city. There are lots of practical vet there, but in remote villages, vets are not common. They're not popular. They're not common to be called in practice to mend the sick animals. And another side is people do not have the fun to care for animals, especially cats and dogs, because they think that they are less valuable than farm animals that can produce something for them to sell. So they treat if the animals are sick, so they will treat their animals with traditional remedies. If they got poison or they eat something bad, they will just give coconut water or turmeric or even kerosene to get rid of the fleas. So they do have medicine system in place, but because it's been what has been passed from one generation to the next, but and they don't know any better. So when we are coming, sorry, the dogs are barking. Uh, so when we are coming to them and introduce them with something like this, they started to, at first they are very hesitant, but then when they see the result, they feel like, oh, there is another way to be better. So when they're hesitant, we try to put a local wisdom. So we have a local wisdom here called Trihita Karana. It means three causes of happiness. So basically how to make a balanced and harmonious relationship. So because we are very strong in tradition, culture, and religious beliefs, definitely how to make balanced and harmonious relationship with God. And then the second is with fellow human beings. And the third is with the surrounding nature, which animals include in it. So we make a jargon for them. We call hewan sehat, lingkungan sehat. It roughly translated as healthy animals mean healthy environment because it benefit them. So once they see they have a healthy animals, it means that their environment healthy and the humans, which is involved in the ecosystem, will also be healthy. So when they are started to be hesitant about this, we will say, if your dog is healthy, if your dog is sterilized and vaccinated against rabies and other diseases, your dogs will be healthy. When your dogs is healthy, it will protect the environment and it makes the environment healthier, which that includes you in it. And they started to come to our sterilization and then try to get their pets to be spayed. And after a few years, because seeing is believing, so they started, the ones who were hesitant at first started to see their neighbor's dog getting healthier, chunkier, shinier coat. They started to come. And here I'm explaining the post-oral oral post-surgery medication to one of the dog owners. And it includes antibiotics and anti-inflammatory. And they started to say, oh, so it's just like when I got fever, so they got antibiotics, things like that. So they started to realize all these things and started to put the animals in a higher value, just almost as on their level. And next thing we know, all the communities are coming to spay and neuter their dogs, and sometimes we just need to turn them down because we already reach our limit for the day, but we always ask them to keep coming back. At the moment, we are always 3 months fully booked in advance. We already have a schedule for January next year, which means that their enthusiasm to do a spay neuter and help us and contributing in the dog population management is so much better. In our organization, we don't judge. We give a very safe space for clueless pet owners. So they, just like what I said, because it's not a companion animal. The dogs and cats are not companion animals, but they love them. They care for them. If they don't care for them, they won't even bother to bring the dogs to the sterilization area. So they will bring their pets in any media that they can find around their house. Sometimes they put the cats in a sack because to avoid them getting scratched. Some of the Ibu just bring this thing so it's easier because the dog is too heavy for her. So she brings this, and they could put the dogs in a sack. So it's easier to be brought by motorcycles, anything. So we don't try to close our doors to this habit or to this action because we know that they meant well, because they want to get their dogs spayed. They want to get their dogs healthier. So we receive it in every form of media or every form of carrier that they have. And then we will put them in a cage like this. So it's safer and more comfortable for animals until they are being spayed or neutered. And they started to realize, oh, okay, I probably need a cage litter, or okay, I'll probably take the dogs for recovery inside the house later. So they will process that with their own point of view, and they will remember that, and they will just keep doing it because it's easy for them to apply it. So during our 9 years of work, we have witnessed a lot of love that all this Bali community have for their dogs. They finally have options to make their dogs healthier, to make their cats healthier, and to not feel guilty for dumping the puppies or kittens to traditional market or cemetery. And this is a map of Bali. So just a little bit of our work here that we've been doing from 2013. So we have spay neutered almost 27,000 animals, dogs and cats around Bali. So this is the place that we usually visit. This is where our base camp is, where we store all of our equipments. So from this to the north, this could be around 3 hours drive, in here and here. So this region is the one that we visited the most. We go there twice a month. So we do a 2-day mass sterilization a month. So it's around 80 dogs every month there in this place. And this is a rabies infected region where they have been the number one is the most cases in Bali. So during our time, we significantly reduced the population from 80,000. This is just a 2-year, 2021 to 2022. So we successfully reduced to 10,350 animals there. And Buleleng as well, and in North Bali. So we have reduced around 2,000. And Tabanan is the one that we visited almost every week. It's also reduced around 8,000. Also here in Badung, around 5,000. Gianyar also, this one is around 3,000. The other part, like Jembrana, it's in an increased number. And Klungkung is the one that we just recently have worked with the government to do a dog population management as well. But it's still an increase because we are rarely go there. We have been there twice, I think, on the past couple of years. And Bangli is the only region that we haven't visited yet, so it stays in this number. I mean, what does it say to us? It means that the dog population management through sterilization works. And when it worked, we started to gain trust from the community, from the government, and they started to realize that sterilization, it's easy to involve in this dog population management. It's easy to contribute their part in helping the dogs and cats, starting from their own. So they are willingly giving their dogs to be spayed and neutered, and their dogs will get healthier, and they see the difference. And we hope this collaboration continues until the dog population management in Bali can be controlled. So during our exploration for 9 years, we understand that in changing the human's behavior, especially when we're talking about the character of the Bali community here towards the animal, the keys are it needs to be easy, because still animals are less valuable for them, especially the dogs and cats. They are not a commodity. They are just there. They're coexisting in the community. So it needs to be easy. It needs to be easy to be applied. It needs to be affordable for them. So when the sterilization, the surgery becomes affordable for them, they will go to that options instead of throwing the puppies on the street, or they do a very unsafe surgery procedure. And it needs to be applicable. It's easy for them to apply when we give them the post-oral medication. It's easy for them to just put them in a dog's meal and then let the dogs eat it, and the dogs will be safe. And the second one is relatable. So they can identify the issue. If we're talking about the issue that is not even that they don't even understand, something like we're talking about wildlife, we're talking about invasion of bears, it's not relatable for them, they wouldn't care. But when we try to put that rabies, to put the public health issue in front of them, and they can be it's relatable for them, and it's easy for them to identify the issue. The dogs, oh, I don't want to keep dumping my dogs to the traditional market, so what do I do? And there's a sterilization options, and because it's relatable, they'll do it. And the third one, for sure, because it's rewarding, it benefits them. If we try, because when we try to impose the public health by using the local wisdom, public health threats to them, and they know that once they got their dogs sterilized, it's going to be rewarding for them, because they're going to have a beautiful dog, they're going to have a healthy dog, there's no fighting anymore. It benefits them, it gives them less stress, so they're going to do it. And because of this human behavior change slowly in Bali, I'm very positive that from when the animal welfare is already improved, we can move towards the, just talking about animal rights. So I think that's all, my presentation. And I think we are ready for the Q&A session. Thank you.